Welcome back to Paul's Tech News. You were wise to take a break from your summertime activities to get an update on the world of technology. And since I know you only have a few precious moments while you reapply that sunscreen, top off the ice chest, rinse out the beer bong, and empty the sand from your crevasses, I'll just quickly go over how things are going with the GPU market, some ways AI can suck and not suck, and how you can duct tape illegal CPUs to your legs and torso for fun and profits, with only minor risk of long-term imprisonment.
Excellent!
We begin today with a check-in on the old cursed GPU market, and to be honest, I delivered a lot of mixed messages in the past few months about the graphics card shortage. Is it almost over? Should we be hopeful? Is PC gaming doomed forever? Today I'm bringing you more of the same, with some good and bad mixed together into a lukewarm, tasteless beige putty. Yes, my friends, we are returning to GPU purgatory. Starting with the good, the number of GPUs being used to mine Ethereum has dropped off sharply in the past 5 to 7 weeks, with the network going from a peak of 643,806 gigahashes per second on May 20th down to 477,535 on June 26th, according to Etherscan.io. This has largely been attributed to the shutdown of many large-scale mining operations in China, where the government is taking action against both crypto mining farms and the institutions providing them with financial services to do business. In some cases, this is leading to what I reported on last week, huge quantities of used GPUs going up for sale on the secondary market. But in others, it's resulting in what I reported on 2 weeks ago, which is that they're simply relocating to places where crypto miners can be free to mine crypto as God intended, with freedom in America. And that could be reflected in the tail end of Etherscan's chart here, which shows a hash rate rebound that kept it above 500K per day since Monday. All that hardware was just offline for a few weeks, so it could be packed in freight containers and shipped across the Pacific. You know, they say the Pacific has no memory. Forgot where I was going with that, but even the mighty Bitcoin has been forced to reduce mining difficulty this week. Adjustments on that network take place every 2 weeks, and on July 3rd, there was a 28% difficulty reduction, which is great news if you mine Bitcoin with an ASIC setup. That adjustment could double your profits. And PC gamers won't even give you a hard time about it because you're not mining with graphics cards, so we really don't care. Another glimmer of hope shone forth from Europe this week as a 3D Center report on German retail market trends showed a continuing decline in both AMD and Nvidia GPU list prices. They have dropped to only 53% above MSRP being the prices that they should sell for, and the fact that that seems like such good news is probably a sign of how badly we've all been gaslighted by the market this year. On the plus side though, more stock of mid-tier cards like the RTX 3060 Ti and Radeon RX 6800 have also been reported, which is good for people who are making the difficult choice between a GPU and a new car or a life-saving surgery. On the minus side, these price drops haven't made their way to other major retailers outside of Germany. And this report from Igor's lab is the final ingredient in the flavorless paste that is my GPU Purgatory segment today, where we have unfortunate news. Igor's disreputable board partner informants tell him that Samsung just isn't putting out enough GPUs, that is, as GPU SKUs apart from the RTX 2060 have been severely limited in allocation by Nvidia. Things were supposed to improve in July, but July is now more than 1/3 over and things have not improved. Igor's updated GPU broker prices, which I discussed in more depth in my GPU supply chain segment back at the beginning of June, have risen as well. But the hope is that it's a short-term increase that will be alleviated once Samsung gets back on track with their 8nm production. It's also a reminder that the shortage and price bubble have many influencing factors, from the cost of surface-mounted components and substrate materials to the availability of the GPUs themselves to the global shipping container shortage that has caused crazy high shipping costs. Not a comfortable situation to be in, but I guess we just have to sit here and wait it out, which is appropriate, because this is GPU Purgatory. My next segment is about artificial intelligence and how it can be used for good or naughty evil. First, AI has been used to monitor politicians who are staring at their phones instead of working and tweet at them. This story is from Belgium, where a digital artist named Dries de Pourteur, which I'm definitely pronouncing perfectly, created a bot that watches Flemish parliamentary sessions streamed to YouTube and uses facial recognition to see who is distracted and staring at their phones instead of legislating. The project and associated Twitter account are called the Flemish Scrollers, and it has already viciously attacked Flemish lawmakers 5 times since launching Monday, admonishing them to please stay focused. God help us if this AI gains sentience and spreads its reign of terror beyond the Vlaanderen realm. YouTube uses AI to feed viewers progressively more terrible videos, says a research study published by Mozilla Wednesday, suggesting that YouTube has put more effort into quelling criticism on this subject than actually improving their recommendation engine. Mozilla crowdsourced data gathered for this study with a browser extension called Regrets Reporter, allowing users to log videos that they regretted clicking on because of what it led YouTube to recommend afterwards. 37,000 participants installed the extension, more than 1,100 reported their regrets, and 71% of the regret reports came from videos that had been recommended by YouTube's algorithm itself. Unfortunately, divisive or contentious subject matter gets lots of views. So the advice for YouTube here is to not just base AI recommendations on what draws the most eyeballs, but to consider the subject matter and societal impact so we can foster a more positive global community by suggesting content that informs and enriches our lives rather than poking humanity like a hive of bees because it's more fun to watch. I'm sure they'll be getting right on that. You know who we can definitely trust to put AI to good use? China. And they have a cool name for their latest creation. It's called Midnight Patrol, which definitely doesn't sound like a cheesy 80s cop drama, or a porno for that matter, and good thing too, because it's made to stop those damn kids from playing their damn video games. In China, there's a government curfew on gaming time for children, so social media giant Tencent has rolled out Midnight Patrol as a digital drill master to enforce those limits between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m., requiring facial recognition to ensure a youngster isn't logging in with their parents' ID. This applies to Tencent's portfolio of over 60 games, many of which are for mobile phones where Face ID is easier to capture. Well done, Tencent. You stopped those kids from having fun by inconveniencing their parents. Damn kids with their video games. Anyway though, now it's time for Tech Briefs, only the best and most tasty parts of the tech news. AMD had a lot of momentum going this year in the battle with Intel for consumer CPU supremacy, climbing to a 30% share of reported systems on the Steam hardware survey back in June. But just 1 month later, and all their mad gains for 2021 have disappeared like so many RTX 3070 Ti launch GPUs. The 3.4% swing puts them in a worse spot than they were in back in February. So maybe they should consider actually selling their best gaming CPU, which is a 5900X, which is out of stock. Chip shortages have emboldened smugglers around the world, and Hong Kong customs officials recently busted a couple truck drivers moving $123,000 worth of Intel silicon illicitly. One had 52 processors just wedged in between his seats, and the other had 256 10700 and 10900K CPUs strapped to his upper ribs and calves with cling wrap. That doesn't really look like it breathes very well, but it does mean that I need to update my LGA versus PGA video. Contact pads are going to be much more comfortable for smuggling than those pesky PGA pins. President Biden signed an executive order Friday aimed at promoting competition in the US economy, and it will likely impact several ongoing battles in the tech world. The FCC has been asked to restore net neutrality rules that the prior administration did away with. Big tech has been accused of undermining competition and reducing innovation, and will face increased merger and acquisition scrutiny, and the right to repair movement got a big boost in recognition as well. Naturally, everyone is in agreement on all of these things now, and the problems are solved. I'm just kidding. I mentioned US politics. People are arguing in the comments now, aren't they? Intel's upcoming 12th gen Alder Lake and 13th gen Raptor Lake processor lineups will apparently use the same PCH, or Platform Controller Hub, according to a filing with the SATA.io organization that mentions both codenames. Intel is still mum on Raptor Lake, which sounds like a horrible place for a camping trip, although even documents that they accidentally leaked mention it. It appears both CPU families will slot into LGA 1700 motherboards and support DDR5 and PCIe Gen 5, with Alder Lake coming around the holidays in 2021 and Raptor Lake arriving 1 year later. And here's more good news for AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution adoption. A developer who goes by Folger on Reddit has created a mod that enables the technology in most Steam VR games. The mod is available on GitHub, and while it unfortunately doesn't work with Half-Life Alyx or Star Wars Squadrons, it does show some nice results in Skyrim and Fallout 4. Oh, look how much sharper that gets on the trees. Folger warns that this is a quick proof of concept and is lacking optimization, but it's further evidence that FSR can be enabled with relatively minimal effort, which means we should be seeing more games getting mods or updates like this soon. So there you have it, guys, tech news for the week. You may now resume your summertime merrymaking. Have fun, be kind, and be safe. Your feedback is always welcome, of course, so please feel free to leave me a comment down below on your way out while you're down there. All of the articles I talked about today are linked in the description if you're interested in further reading. You can also click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Check out my store at paulshardware.net for a selection of excellent merchandise options, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one in the future. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.